Recently I've been scrolling through Twitter a lot, complaining about YouTube Rewind and generally procrastinating. It's great Twitter, by the way. You should definitely follow it. As I was scrolling, I was graced with this picture here. It just kind of appeared on my timeline. I didn't really think much of it at first. I just gave some cynical remark to myself, alone, in my room. And then I kept scrolling. And then it appeared again. And again. And again. And so eventually, after seeing it 4 or 5 times, curiosity got the better of me, and I took to YouTube to track down the channel. And I was greeted with the strangest, most bizarre clickbait channel I have seen in a good long while. This is JustKryptic, a channel that's managed to amass over 500,000 subscribers. He's spelt cryptic with a K, of course, because he's incredibly edgy, and the first thing I noticed when I stepped onto this channel is that he unironically has the word fire in his channel banner. That's the kind of guy we're dealing with here. If you scroll through this channel, you'll notice a few things very quickly about JustKryptic. The first one is that he's a little bit obsessed with his own image. He's got quite the ego, he's a bit vain, and I'm pretty confident he loves the look of himself. The other thing you notice, of course, is that he tends to clickbait relationships and more sexual things, and as a result, he's managed to acquire himself a fan base of horny teenagers. Most of his videos are low effort, stretched to over 10 minutes, filled with emojis and him just generally pulling a rather photogenic face. One of his more favourite things to do is to ask his crush out. He's done it quite a few times. He apparently fancies quite a few people. The real truth about relationships. Tell me, why would I come to you, an 18-year-old self-obsessed clickbait YouTuber, for relationship advice? What? So now that we're all well acquainted with JustKryptic and the type of content he makes, I think it's time to jump into the video that first attracted me over here. I'm dating a 15-year-old and I'm 18. Oh boy, I can't wait.
Hey yo, what's good with y'all? It's your boy JustKryptic here, back with another video, and today, man, we're gonna be doing a Q&A.
Oh, so it's not a video about you explaining this very dodgy topic, it's a Q&A. Right. And just to let you know, this channel does very frequent Q&As, which basically means he's completely out of ideas.
See, this is the post right here, you know what I'm saying? 12,000 likes. We can get that to 20. Come on now. Come on, man. Anyways, let's pull up the question.
Yeah, right. Okay, I don't actually give one about your stupid Q&A. Can we please just find the bit where you talk about why you were with a 15-year-old girl?
She told me for a whole entire month she was 20, yo. An entire month. Like, I was consistently talking to this girl thinking she was 20. And she finally is like, yo, I'm actually 15. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie to you. She sends me a bunch of texts. And I was like, what the fudge? I didn't care that she wasted my time. I was more mad that, you know what I'm saying, me and my homies all booked a flight out to LA.
So basically, to cut a very long stretch story short for you, this girl claims she's 20, JustKryptic and her get freaky in the DMs on Instagram, and then he flies out to LA to meet her with a load of his friends. And when he arrives, she tells him that she's actually 15 and basically just wastes his time. Nothing actually happened, he just made a topic sound much more dramatic than it actually was. And that's a very common pattern with JustKryptic's channel, because his fan base is very young. They're all of maybe 13, 14 years old, and so people overhype a situation to the point of it being completely ridiculous, just to pull in some clicks and keep the attentive little horny 14-year-olds busy. I'm not even going to bother speaking about the rest of this video. There's really no point. The rest of it is just an extremely boring Q&A video in which he tries to give relationship advice. It's just got an extremely over-the-top title and thumbnail to pull in those clicks. And that's basically how most of his videos go. They've just got a very extreme title that pulls in the clicks, and then he harps on about relationships for 10 minutes and steals your ad revenue. It's been done a million times on a million different channels, and this guy's stuff is no exception. However, there were a couple of videos that really did catch my eye. The first one being this one here. It's called Story Time. Her cat emoji stank, and I'll let you read between the lines for that one. Oh my god, would you look at that intro? How self-obsessed do you get?
My initial intention with talking to this girl was not to try and get in them cheeks. It wasn't to try and get some, you know what I'm saying, some slop, whatever. It wasn't none of that. My intention of talking to this girl was, I thought she was really beautiful, you know what I'm saying? She was a full package, had a nice body.
Alright, so you've just completely convoluted yourself. You say that you weren't speaking to this girl because you wanted some action, shall we call it, but then the first thing you describe about her is how good her body was. Right. And you see this a lot. This is... Oh my god, he just convolutes himself for the whole video. He just sits there, in the corner, like ranting until it hits over 10 minutes with Fortnite gameplay. And I bet the fucking Fortnite gameplay is only there so he can put it in the tags. Jesus Christ.
My mama raised me. She told me never hurt a girl. That's one thing that she doesn't want me to do. She don't care if I steal, if I kill, if I do blah blah blah. The one thing she'll be disappointing me in is if I hurt women. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, okay, shut up for a second and just really think about this for a second. First off, he's never ever gonna hurt a girl. That's the one moral he truly has. He'll never ever hurt a woman. And yet, he's making an entire 10-minute video shaming one. So, immediately you've convoluted yourself again. Second off, I'd just very quickly like to say, your mother wouldn't care if you stole? Or murdered? I mean, okay, if you hurt a woman, my god, she'd kick your ass, but if you murdered an innocent old age pensioner in the street, oh, that's fine, son. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it.
And next thing I know, you know what I'm saying, I just get this odor, this stench. And I tell y'all, this was the foulest smell I've ever smelled in my life. No. I'm not going to, like, shame her for it. I'm not.
No, but you just spent an entire video shaming her. Like, okay, great, she didn't give out her personal information or anything, that's great, but you still have just sat there for 8 minutes shaming her, and then you say, I don't want to shame her? I mean, what? I can't tell if he's dense or if he's just preying off a gullible audience. Seriously. Do you remember that bit 2 minutes ago where he said, oh yeah, I'd never make a woman feel bad. The one thing my mother taught me is that I should never make a woman feel bad. Well, you've just sat there for 10 minutes doing it. And this isn't the first time he's done it either. I bet your mum would be dead pleased with this video. The one thing I noticed very quickly about JustKryptic is that he portrays himself as some sort of player. Girls like him, he's had a lot of experience in that realm, and yet he can't talk about sex or anything sexual without giggling like a child.
And then it just got into, you know what I'm saying, it just,
You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. I'm not even gonna talk about it. So we started to get a little handsy, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty immature for someone that's apparently well versed in relationships and all things sexy. I mean, you could say that he might be telling a little fib. I think. Can you smell that? I think I can smell some bullshit. Actually, I think I can smell it. Yeah, pun intended. This is another video from him. It's a prank. My god, do I love pranks. The point I'm trying to get at is that for someone that claims to be so well-versed and experienced with all this, like, he still makes a very, very big deal out of it. Like, what is the big deal here? Like, just what?
What about, like, us three would...
Oh, was that a thud sound effect? Oh, I love the thud sound effect. It's just great. It's not like it's been overused to the point of death.
We get to chill here and have fun.
How?
Oh look, there's another one. Great, another thud sound effect. Don't we all just love the thud sound effect? Oh, just end me.
Dude, get out the room. Is he saying what I think he's saying?
I'm willing to bet this video is completely fake, and even if it isn't, it is completely pointless. Unless you're still of the age where you think the word penis is funny, you're not going to get any entertainment value out of this. And it proves my point. Why would someone this well-versed and this experienced with sex still take stuff like this so seriously? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. Now, when JustKryptic isn't clickbaiting relationships, he's writing music. He's actually a wannabe rapper, and he's released several songs on his SoundCloud and his YouTube, and well, yeah, they're exactly what you'd expect. No, speak up. I can't hear you. You're mumbling. Speak up, for God's sake. What are you even saying? I can't hear a thing you are saying.
Said I walk, said I walk, said I walk. Said I walk, said I walk, said I walk.
I'm genuinely struggling to figure out what you are saying, how much auto-tune is on your voice. As far as music goes, it's not the worst thing I've heard. The worst thing I've ever heard is this.
Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me.
Now granted, his music isn't anything new or innovative, but it's definitely far from the worst I've ever heard. It might be worth mentioning that all his music is produced by other people, and his voice is heavily layered with auto-tune, so he might not be as good as he claims, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't really have an issue with your backing being produced by someone else, that's perfectly fine in my book. And as for the whole auto-tune thing, it's quite common and trendy, I think, in rap music today to have a lot of auto-tune, so I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt there. The point I'm really trying to get at here is that JustKryptic is having a little bit of an identity crisis. He's not sure what character or persona he really wants to portray. You see, on one hand, he's this edgy, good-looking, well-versed player of a rapper, and yet on the other hand, he's this extremely vain, extremely immature, clickbait YouTuber that makes videos like, I sat myself in Kool-Aid for 24 hours. Like, it's quite the juxtaposition, isn't it?
Oh yeah, guys, I make rap music. I'm in the hood and I'm a player, but if you say the word sex, I'm gonna giggle. I find that really funny.
They just, hey.
Oh yeah, and that Kool-Aid video I mentioned, dear God, that's terrible. Let's have a quick look at that, shall we?
Today I'm gonna be sitting in Kool-Aid for 24 hours straight.
Why are you playing epic music? You've just poured juice into a bath and you sit in it. It's really not that epic.
This feels so weird.
At first it just looks like every other 24-hour bath challenge, but then 4 hours later, after a convenient camera cut, his sister comes in and has a go at him for watching midgets twerking on his phone. What?
Midget. It's a midget.
What you got going on?
Gone.
Bro, what is wrong with you? Why were you in here watching that?
You could not make this shit up if you tried. Like, what went through your mind? You looked at this in editing and went, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll leave it in. What? The footage got corrupted, did it? Oh, how convenient. I'll tell you what actually happened. You realised the runtime had hit over 10 minutes and you couldn't be bothered doing any more. Great. What quality content. Great. Oh, I just asked my crush out. OMG, you won't believe what happened. That's all I've got to say on JustKryptic. In conclusion, he's a weird amalgamation of a channel. On one hand, he's playing himself off as this edgy rapper and player, and yet on the other hand, he's making generic clickbait videos on the internet and squealing like an infant. He's extremely vain, he's extremely self-obsessed, and he's got the word fire, unironically, in his channel banner. Just what is he, to be honest? What are you doing? Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button, beat it like it owes you money. You can subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and you can check out my social medias in the description so you never miss an update from me. Any support you can throw me and my little YouTube channel is greatly appreciated. It does mean the world. Thanks in advance for anything you can do. Now, if you'll excuse me, everyone, I'm going back to procrastinating on Twitter. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next hecking video.